Take a moment to look around. Everything in your environment, your home, your workspace, the streets you walk through every day, has an energy. Most people go through life without ever questioning how the places they spend time in are shaping their emotions, their thoughts, and even their physical well-being. It's easy to assume that what we feel comes only from within, that stress, exhaustion, or even lack of motivation is just a personal issue. But what if the spaces you exist in every day are silently draining you? What if the objects you own, the people you interact with, and even the unseen forces around you are constantly pulling your vibration lower without you realizing it? Everything in existence vibrates at a certain frequency. This isn't just a spiritual idea, it's science. At a microscopic level, all matter is in motion. The chair you sit in, the walls around you, the phone or computer in your hands, your own body, your thoughts, emotions, and even the sounds in the air, all of it is energy in motion. And here's where it gets serious. Energy is contagious. Just like a tuning fork can cause another tuning fork to vibrate at the same frequency, your own energy is being influenced by everything around you. If you constantly expose yourself to low vibrational environments, sooner or later your own vibration will adjust to match them. Think about the places you spend most of your time. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a strange heaviness, as if something was pressing down on you? Or maybe you've been in a space that made you feel instantly lighter, more at peace, more creative. This is not just in your head. Every space holds the residual energy of what has happened there. If a place has been filled with years of stress, arguments, sadness, or any other negative emotion, that energy lingers. It doesn't just disappear.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Your home, your office, even the stores and restaurants you visit frequently, if these places have absorbed low-frequency energy over time, spending time in them will affect you. Most people assume that as long as they aren't actively experiencing something negative, they are unaffected. But energy doesn't work that way. Imagine sitting in a room where two people just had a heated argument. Even if you weren't there to witness it, you can feel the tension in the air. Now imagine living in a space where negativity has accumulated for years. The energy in that space becomes like stagnant water, thick, heavy, and unclean. And if you remain in it long enough, your own vibration begins to sink, just like a person breathing in polluted air without realizing it. But it's not just physical spaces. Objects carry energy as well. Every item you own has a history, and that history affects you more than you think. If you bring something into your home that carries negative energy, whether it's bought secondhand or given to you by someone who was struggling, its energy doesn't just vanish. That object can subtly influence your mental and emotional state. This is why so many ancient traditions emphasize cleansing new belongings, whether through smoke, sound, or intention. But how many people actually do this? How many people are sleeping in beds that have absorbed years of restless nights, wearing clothes that still hold the emotions of past experiences, or holding on to objects that silently weigh them down? And then there are the people. This is the hardest one to accept because it forces you to look at your relationships with absolute honesty. Every single person in your life is either raising your vibration or lowering it. There is no neutral. Every conversation, every interaction, every shared moment is either nourishing your energy or depleting it. Some people radiate warmth, inspiration, and positivity. Others drain energy like black holes. And here's where it gets dangerous. If you stay around low vibrational people long enough, you start to normalize their energy. Your mind adapts to their frequency, and before you even realize it, your own vibration has dropped. It's like being in a room with a bad smell. At first, it's unbearable, but after a while, you stop noticing it. But it gets even worse. Because there's something even more powerful than places, objects, and people that is constantly influencing your energy. And the most shocking part? You willingly invite it into your life every single day without questioning it. The hidden forces manipulating your energy without your consent. Most people don't realize this, but the content you consume is shaping your energy just as much as your physical surroundings. The music you listen to, the shows you watch, the social media accounts you follow, all of it is feeding your mind with a particular frequency. And in today's world, most of that frequency is designed to keep you in a state of distraction, anxiety, and low energy. Every time you scroll through content that makes you feel angry, hopeless, or drained, your vibration is being pulled down. Every time you listen to music that carries aggressive, depressive, or chaotic energy, your subconscious absorbs it. Every time you watch a movie or show that is filled with fear, violence, or negativity, your nervous system reacts as if you are experiencing it yourself. And here's where it gets even more disturbing. The algorithms of social media are designed to keep you trapped in low vibrational loops. They don't show you what's best for your energy. They show you what will keep you engaged the longest. And guess what keeps people engaged? Content that triggers fear, outrage, or emotional highs and lows. It's like an invisible force controlling your energy without you even realizing it. But the biggest trap of all is your own mind. Your thoughts have a vibration, and the more you dwell on negativity, the more you reinforce that frequency within yourself. If you constantly replay past mistakes, worry about the future, or allow self-doubt to take over, your own mind becomes a low vibrational environment. And the worst part? Most people don't even question their own thoughts. They assume that whatever appears in their mind is just them. But thoughts are like radio signals. You pick up on the frequencies that match your current state. The lower your vibration, the more you attract thoughts that keep you stuck in that state. So now, here's the real question. How much of your daily life is actually supporting your highest vibration? Look at your environment, your belongings, the people around you, the content you consume, and even your own thoughts. How much of it is uplifting you? And how much of it is keeping you in a state of low energy without you even realizing it? Because here's the truth. Raising your vibration isn't just about meditation or positive thinking. It's about taking full responsibility for the energy you allow into your life. It's about cleansing your spaces, being mindful of the objects you keep, choosing relationships that nourish you, consuming content that elevates you, and mastering your own thoughts. The moment you start making these changes, your entire reality shifts. It's not magic, it's physics. Energy attracts energy. The higher your vibration, the more you align with experiences, opportunities, and people that match that frequency. But here's the thing. Most people will never do this. They will continue living in low-energy environments, surrounded by draining influences, consuming content that keeps them in a cycle of distraction, all while wondering why they feel stuck. They will make excuses, saying it's just life, just circumstances, just bad luck. But the truth is, change is always a choice. So the question is, are you ready to take control of your vibration? Or will you continue letting your surroundings dictate your energy without even realizing it? Most people never take a moment to question why their energy feels so low, why they wake up tired even after a full night's sleep, why their mind feels foggy, why their motivation fades so quickly, why they experience random waves of anxiety or sadness without a clear reason. They assume it's just stress, just life, just how things are. But what if the real reason is something they've never even considered? What if the places they spend time in, the objects they own, the people they interact with, the content they consume, and even their own thoughts are constantly pulling their vibration lower without them realizing it? The most dangerous thing about low energy is that it becomes normal. When someone has been in a low vibrational state for months or even years, they stop noticing it. They forget what it feels like to be truly energized, to wake up excited for the day, to feel clear-headed and inspired. Their new normal becomes a constant state of exhaustion, stress, and mental fog. And the worst part? They don't even realize that something is wrong. Most people live in spaces that are energetically polluted. Every argument, every stressful moment, every negative emotion leaves an imprint on the environment. Over time, these energies accumulate like dust. A home that has never been energetically cleansed is like a room that has never been cleaned. The energy becomes stagnant, heavy, and dense. And when someone spends years living in that energy, they absorb it. They begin to feel more anxious, more drained, more uninspired, and they don't even know why. They assume it's just them, but in reality, they are constantly breathing in the energetic residue of past negativity. And it's not just homes, offices, schools, public spaces. Everywhere people go, they are exposed to energetic imprints left behind by others. If a workspace has been filled with years of stress and pressure, that energy lingers. If a public place has absorbed countless emotions of frustration, sadness, or fear, it affects everyone who enters it. Most people don't realize how much their surroundings are shaping their emotions, but once they become aware of it, they start to notice the difference. Some places instantly make them feel lighter and more peaceful, while others make them feel tense and drained. The energy of a place matters more than people think, and yet, almost no one takes the time to cleanse the spaces where they spend most of their time. Objects also carry energy. Every item has a history, and that history doesn't just disappear. If someone wears a piece of clothing that was once owned by someone who carried a lot of fear or sadness, that energy can transfer. If someone keeps objects in their home that were associated with past struggles, failures, or negative experiences, those objects silently hold on to that energy. This is why ancient cultures place so much importance on cleansing new belongings. But today, people ignore this completely. They bring things into their lives without ever considering the energy they carry. They hold on to objects that are linked to painful memories, and then they wonder why they still feel emotionally stuck. They keep gifts from people who hurt them, furniture that has been in spaces filled with stress, jewelry that once belonged to someone who suffered, and they don't realize that all of these things are subtly affecting their energy. But nothing affects energy more than people. Every interaction is an exchange of energy, and yet most people never stop to think about how their relationships are influencing their vibration. Some people radiate light, positivity, and inspiration. Others drain energy like black holes. The dangerous part is that energy is contagious. When someone spends time around a low vibrational person, their own energy starts to match that frequency. This is why some conversations leave people feeling uplifted and motivated, while others leave them feeling exhausted and empty. And the longer someone stays around low-energy people, the more they start to normalize that energy. They stop realizing how much they are being drained. They make excuses for toxic relationships, saying things like, "That's just how they are," or "They don't mean any harm." But the truth is, their energy is being affected every single time they interact with that person. And the scariest part? It's not just about direct interactions. Even thinking about someone constantly, even holding on to old emotional ties, even keeping unresolved relationships in the mind can keep someone energetically connected to people who are lowering their vibration. And then there's the biggest hidden force of all, the content people consume. Every song, every movie, every video, every social media post is carrying a frequency. When someone listens to music that is filled with sadness, aggression, or despair, they are absorbing that frequency. When they watch shows and movies that are filled with violence, fear, or negativity, their subconscious is reacting as if they are experiencing it themselves. And social media is the worst of all. The algorithms are designed to keep people engaged, not to protect their energy. And what keeps people engaged? Content that triggers emotional highs and lows. Content that sparks outrage. Content that fuels fear. People think they are just scrolling for entertainment, but in reality, they are feeding their minds with chaotic, low vibrational energy every single day. And the more they consume it, the more their own energy starts to match it. But the most dangerous energy of all is the one that comes from within. Thoughts have a frequency, and every single thought is shaping a person's vibration. When someone constantly replays past mistakes, worries about the future, or fills their mind with self-doubt, they are trapping themselves in a low-energy state. And the worst part? Most people don't even question their own thoughts. They assume that whatever appears in their mind is just them. But thoughts are like radio signals. People pick up on the frequencies that match their current state. A person with low energy will naturally attract thoughts that keep them stuck in that state. This is why negativity feels like a cycle, because it is. The lower someone's vibration, the more they attract thoughts, emotions, and experiences that reinforce that frequency. And the longer they stay in that state, the harder it becomes to break free. This is why awareness is everything. Once someone becomes aware of how their surroundings are shaping their energy, they can start making changes. They can cleanse their spaces, remove objects that carry negative energy, distance themselves from draining relationships, become intentional about the content they consume, and take control of their own thoughts. And the moment they do, everything shifts. Their energy rises, their mind becomes clearer, their emotions become lighter, and suddenly they start attracting better experiences, better people, and better opportunities. This isn't wishful thinking, it's physics. Energy attracts energy. The higher someone's vibration, the more they align with things that match that frequency. But the truth is, most people will never do this. They will continue living in low-energy environments, surrounded by draining influences, consuming content that keeps them in a cycle of distraction, all while wondering why they feel stuck. They will convince themselves that they don't have a choice, that life is just hard, that it's just circumstances. But the reality is, change is always a choice. The question is, will they take control of their energy, or will they continue letting their surroundings dictate their vibration without even realizing it? The fastest way to raise your vibration and break free from low energy. Most people don't even realize they are living their lives in a low energy state because it has become their normal. They wake up feeling tired even after hours of sleep. They go through the day feeling drained without doing anything physically exhausting. They struggle to focus, they lack motivation, they feel emotionally heavy without a clear reason. They assume it's just stress, just life, just the way things are. They don't question it because they've never known anything different. But there's something they don't realize. When someone raises their vibration, reality itself starts to change. Their mind becomes clearer, their emotions feel lighter, their body feels stronger, and everything around them begins to shift. The people they attract are different. The opportunities that come into their life are different. Even the way they experience time feels different. It's like stepping into a completely new version of existence. And the most shocking part? It doesn't take years of effort to make this shift. The fastest way to raise vibration isn't complicated. It's about removing the things that are keeping it low in the first place. One of the first things that must be done is cleansing the environment. Most people don't realize that their home, their workspace, the places they spend the most time in are filled with stagnant energy that has been accumulating for years. Every argument, every stressful moment, every negative thought leaves an energetic imprint that lingers in the space. If a place has absorbed years of stress, frustration, sadness, or fear, that energy doesn't just disappear. It sits in the walls, in the furniture, in the air itself, constantly affecting the people who live there. And the longer someone stays in that environment, the more their own energy starts to match it. This is why some spaces feel heavy and draining, while others feel light and uplifting. The energy of a place is real, and it matters more than people think. The fastest way to shift this is to cleanse the space. Sound can break up stagnant energy, so playing high-frequency sounds, ringing bells, clapping in the corners of a room, or even just opening windows to let fresh air in can make a huge difference. Burning certain herbs like sage or Palo Santo has been used for centuries to clear negative energy. And it works because the smoke binds to the stagnant energy and removes it from the space. But the most overlooked way to cleanse a space is simply by removing clutter. Objects hold energy, and when a space is filled with things that are never used, things that are broken, things that carry emotional weight from the past, it creates an energetic heaviness that affects the mind and body. The reason people feel lighter after cleaning their space isn't just psychological. It's because they have literally removed stagnant energy from their environment. The next thing that must be done is cutting off energy-draining influences. This is the hardest part for most people because it requires facing the truth about the relationships in their life. Every single person is either raising or lowering energy. There is no neutral. Every conversation, every interaction is an exchange of energy. And if someone constantly feels drained after being around a particular person, it's not a coincidence. Some people radiate positivity, inspiration, and light, while others drain energy like black holes. The dangerous part is that the longer someone stays around low-energy people, the more they start to normalize that energy. They stop noticing how much they are being affected. They make excuses for toxic relationships, saying things like, "That's just how they are," or "They don't mean any harm." But the reality is that energy doesn't lie. The body always knows. If spending time with someone leaves a person feeling anxious, irritated, exhausted, or mentally foggy, that's a sign their vibration is being pulled down. And the scariest part? It's not just about direct interactions. Even thinking about someone constantly, even holding on to old emotional attachments, even keeping unresolved relationships in the mind can keep someone energetically tied to people who are lowering their vibration. Cutting off draining influences doesn't always mean ending relationships completely, but it does mean setting boundaries. It means limiting time spent with people who bring negativity. It means removing access from those who only take without giving. It means refusing to engage in conversations that feel toxic. And sometimes it does mean walking away from certain relationships entirely. Another major factor that keeps energy low is the content being consumed. People don't realize that their mind is being programmed every single day by the music they listen to, the shows they watch, the videos they scroll through, the news they absorb. Every single piece of content carries a frequency, and the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is being consumed. If someone listens to music that is filled with sadness, aggression, or despair, that frequency starts to influence their emotions. If they watch movies or shows that are filled with fear, violence, or negativity, their nervous system reacts as if they are experiencing it themselves. And social media is the worst of all. The algorithms are designed to keep people engaged, not to protect their energy. And what keeps people engaged? Content that triggers emotional highs and lows. Content that fuels outrage. Content that sparks fear. People think they are just scrolling for entertainment, but in reality they are feeding their mind with chaotic, low-vibrational energy every single day. And the more they consume, replacing low-energy content with high-frequency content, listening to music that uplifts rather than drains, watching things that inspire rather than trigger fear. Limiting exposure to media that is designed to keep people trapped in cycles of anxiety and distraction. But none of this matters if the mind is constantly filled with low-frequency thoughts. Thoughts have energy, and every single thought is shaping a person's vibration. The reason negativity feels like a cycle is because it is. The lower someone's energy, the more they attract thoughts that keep them stuck in that state. If the mind is constantly replaying past mistakes, worrying about the future, or filling itself with self-doubt, it becomes a trap of low energy. And the worst part? Most people don't even question their own thoughts. They assume that whatever appears in their mind is just them. But thoughts are like radio signals. People pick up on the frequencies that match their current state. If someone is in a low-energy state, their mind will naturally attract thoughts that keep them in that frequency. This is why it's so important to become aware of thoughts and shift them intentionally, replacing negative thoughts with higher frequency thoughts, practicing gratitude, focusing on what is going right instead of what is going wrong, training the mind to break free from the patterns that keep energy low. But the most powerful way to raise vibration quickly is through the body. Movement shifts energy faster than anything else. When the body is stagnant, energy becomes stagnant. This is why exercise, stretching, dancing, even just walking outside can instantly shift a person's state. Breathing is another way to change energy immediately. Most people breathe in a shallow, unconscious way, which keeps their energy low. Deep, intentional breathing floods the body with oxygen, clears the mind, and raises vibration instantly. Even just standing in the sun, grounding barefoot on the earth, drinking more water. These simple things have a huge impact on energy. Raising vibration isn't about doing one big thing. It's about making small shifts that remove what is keeping energy low in the first place. Cleansing the environment, cutting off draining influences, becoming intentional about content consumption, shifting thoughts, moving the body, breathing deeply. These things add up, and when done consistently, they create massive changes. And the craziest part? The moment energy shifts, reality itself starts to change. New opportunities appear, synchronicities happen, the right people come into life effortlessly. It's not magic, it's physics. Energy attracts energy. But the truth is, most people will never do this. They will continue living in low-energy environments, surrounded by draining influences, consuming content that keeps them in a cycle of distraction, all while wondering why they feel stuck. They will convince themselves that they don't have a choice, that life is just hard, that it's just circumstances. But the reality is, change is always a choice. The question is, will they take control of their energy, or will they continue letting their surroundings dictate their vibration without even realizing it?